right, hello. Welcome back to JankTech, my series on Star Wars Unlimited, where we talk about twin suns, alternate formats, janky card combinations, basically nothing that's meta, nothing that's premiere, just that good old janky, casual nonsense. So, I've been doing this for about a month now. Videos have been doing great. We've been getting lots of new subscribers. People have been commenting and liking and all that fun stuff. So, thanks to everyone that's been doing that. It feels really nice. And if you haven't liked or subscribed, then please consider doing those things because it lets me know that you like watching this. So, what do we got going on today? Well, we've gotten most of the leaders spoiled at the time of this recording for Jump to Lightspeed. So, I thought it would be fun just to do a little countdown of the top 5 leader combinations that I'm excited about putting together a Twin Suns deck around. So, number 5, we got Yoda and we've got the new Han Solo. So this is basically going to be a deck based around top deck manipulation. We're going to get to see what the top card is on our deck pretty much every turn with Han. And if we don't like it, well, then we can fix that with Yoda. Hopefully this will give me a chance to play Don't Get Cocky. This is one of those cards that I don't think anyone has played for any reason since it came out in the first set. I really like this card. So what does this do? Choose a unit, one at a time, reveal cards from your deck until you choose to stop, or have revealed 7 cards. If the combined cost of the revealed cards is 7 or less, deal that much damage to the chosen unit. Put the revealed cards on the bottom of your deck in a random order. It's like one of the jankiest cards out there, but I think with the abilities of our 2 different leaders to manipulate what is on the top of the deck, we might actually be able to pull this one off. Of course, You're My Only Hope is going to be there. I think You're My Only Hope was actually played by Yoda players. So, of course, we got to throw that in there. This is one of my favorite Jank cards from the first set. And who knows, maybe you'll be almost dead at some point and you'll get to play something for free, which is always nice. And by the way, if you're at that point, you might even be able to get Yoda to put a huge chonkus critter on the top and be like, oh, here, I'm going to play Gore for free. I'm going to play something off aspect for free. Love these options. I think these leaders will allow us to do something fun with that. Number 4, we got Mace, Windu, and the new Luke Skywalker. So Luke says, action, exhaust him. If you attacked with a fighter this phase, deal 1 damage to a unit. Mace says, action, pay 1, deal a damage to a damaged enemy unit. Then if it has 5 or more damage on it, deal 1 damage to it. I absolutely love Mace Windu. I have been running a competitive Mace Red deck for the last few months, and I actually had a chance to play at a local store showdown, and I did better than I thought I was going to. I won about half of my games. I was able to get myself a Gore. Oh my gosh. So this is one of my favorite leaders from set 3. I think a lot of people slept on him. I think that the cool thing about Mace is if you can put enough damage on everything, you can eventually get to the point of wiping the whole board, which is always fun to be able to do that when he deploys. So what are we going to be putting in with these? Obviously, we want fighter units. And what goes great with Mace? Of course, the Y-Wing. This has been a staple of my Mace deck since I originally conceived of it. The idea of having to have the opponent choose where the damage goes is so wonderful. And whenever someone says, I'm just going to put it all on the base, you're just kind of like, yes, I just did a lot more damage to your base. Awesome. But what else have we got there? Well, we got the Reckless Torrent with its coordinate ability to deal damage to a friendly unit and an enemy unit in the same arena. So this will be able to use Luke's ability to damage something. This is a fighter. We'll be able to do more damage on stuff when it's played. It's just damage, damage, damage everywhere. What else do we have going on here? We've got the Red Squadron Y-Wing. I cannot wait to remake my Mace Red deck when Jump to Lightspeed comes out. I'm, of course, going to fill it with Red Squadron Y-Rings, but it's going to go in the Luke Mace Twin Suns deck. On attack, deal 3 indirect damage to the defending player. Then we can ping with Luke. Then we can ping with Mace. It's going to be awesome. And then, naturally, we're going to put Red 5 in there. Come on, of course, we're putting Red 5. Luke's got to have his ship. On attack, you may deal 2 damage to a damaged unit. Again, we're just going to pile all that stuff on there. Heck yeah. Can't wait. And, of course, Sabine's Masterpiece. Have y'all seen this cool ship? Oh my gosh. So I haven't really thought about what my other color is in this deck yet. Obviously, we're going to be running red, and this is going to be damaging things. I'm probably going to lean either towards green or yellow, but honestly, we'll kind of see what kind of cards we get. But even so, another ship that, again, it's a fighter. It does its red ping. I think this will be real fun to run in a deck with those. Cool. Mace and Luke, I cannot wait to build this one. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, number 3, we got Jango Fett, one of our meta kings, and we got Boba Fett. I know. Anything that ends in Fett is real meta. I'm sorry I'm doing this to y'all, but I think this Boba Fett leader is really cool. I've played the pre-con a few times on Force Table, and if you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend you do because, oh my goodness, you can get damage out so fast. So what does this Boba Fett leader do? When you deal non-combat damage, you may exhaust this leader. If you do, deal 1 indirect damage to a player. Non-combat damage is essentially like ping damage. So it's meant to work with indirect damage. So if you're dealing indirect damage, you deal more indirect damage. And when you're dealing all of this damage, well, if it gets assigned to units, you can say, okay, now I can exhaust that unit with Jango. You're just handing out damage left and right, and no one's going to want to damage their stuff because you are going to be able to exhaust their stuff. But if they don't do it to their units, then that's more damage that goes onto your base. Real fun. I haven't put together a ton of cards with this, mostly because it's a lot of the stuff in the pre-con. So we've got the TIE Bomber is going to be great. It does a bunch of indirect damage. Fett's Fire Spray from the new set. It does indirect damage. We're going to have Boba Fett. We're going to be spitting out damage. It's going to be great. I cannot wait. All right, number 2, we got Wat Tambor and the new Thrawn. Of course, you got to put these together. All they want is for everything to die. Wat Tambor, action, exhaust him. If a friendly unit was defeated this phase, give a unit +2/+2 for this phase. And then with Thrawn, when you use a when defeated ability, you may exhaust this leader. If you do, use that ability again. We want to make a deck full of things that do stuff when defeated, whether that's going to be a Vanguard infantry that we exploit to do something. Bam, 2 experience to something. Whether it's Cobb Vanth, we get to search the top 10 cards of our deck for a unit that costs 2 or less and discard it. From this phase, we may play that card from our discard pile for free. So we can get 4 resources worth of 2-cost units for free with Thrawn's ability and buff something. That is so cool. I cannot wait to do this. And of course, you got to play it with the Chimera, Thrawn's signature ship. When played, you may use a when defeated ability on another friendly unit. So you just get to get it for free without it dying. This is super cool. I think this is going to be a real fun deck to make. Cannot wait. Okay, and then number 1, my most anticipated deck. Come on. If you know anything about me, you know that I love Dr. Aphra. She has been my pet project since Shadows came out. I want her to be good so bad. I don't think she really is, but I feel like one of these days we're going to crack her code. And who better to help crack Aphra's code than Admiral Trench? This deck is going to be so fun. Oh my gosh. Okay, so of course we're running double yellow. Double yellow is one of my favorite combos in the game. Otherwise, I wouldn't have chilled out for a bunch of cunnings. So what does this do? What are we going to try to do with this nonsense? So Aphra mills you. By the way, again, mill means discard a card from the top of your deck. She mills you when the regroup phase starts. And then if you have 5 or more different costs among cards in your discard pile, she gets a +3/+0 buff. So she can potentially be a 5/5 on the 5 resource turn. When deployed, choose 3 cards in your discard pile with different names. If you do, return one of them at random to your hand. So we want to stack up our discard pile with lots of stuff. We want to get Aphra out early. We want her to swing hard early on. An alternate strategy with Aphra is continue to use her mill and populate your discard pile with all kinds of useful cards and then get them back at your leisure later in the game. And who better to pair my favorite leader with than Admiral Trench. As an action, you can discard a card that costs 3 or more from your hand. If you do, draw a card. Wait, so I get to discard late game cards to get early game cards in the early game. At the same time, I'm putting cards with costs that I wasn't going to use into my discard pile to get Aphra ready to go faster. Yes, and let's not forget, Admiral Trench, first leader that they have shown so far that has a deploy that is not an epic action. So for 3 and an exhaust, if we control 6 or more resources, we can deploy Trench. And when deployed, reveal the top 4 cards of the deck. Opponent discards 2 of them, draw 1 of the remaining cards, and discard the other. So we get 3 cards in our discard pile and 1 in our hand. If we wait on deploying Aphra until after Trench is deployed, we will have so much more to choose from. We'll have tons and tons of options. She's going to be strong. He's going to be relatively strong. But, okay, y'all, and here is the jank combos that I'm looking forward to doing with these leaders. Okay, so we run it with the droid manufactory. When you deploy a leader, create 2 battle droid tokens. And yes, this happens as many times as you can deploy Admiral Trench. Maybe we just keep deploying him turn after turn, exploiting him in order to do other things. Maybe we just exploit him to play the Trench unit. Unfortunately, I don't think you can bring a leader back with the Trench unit, but I don't know. Maybe somebody that understands the laws of this game more than me can clear that up for me. But one thing that we can do is create a whole bunch of droids. Since we're in double yellow, we can run Chancellor Palpatine, make all of our droids come into play ready. Things are going to be leaving this phase, so we want to make sure, since this is Twin Suns, something's always going to die. We'll swing late with Palpatine. We'll get clone troopers that are ready. We'll use Palpatine's return to return stuff from our discards, reprocess. The world is our oyster. This is going to be such a cool combo. Absolutely can't wait to play it. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that's it. Those are my top 5 combos in Twin Suns with Jump to Lightspeed cards that I'm most excited about. What are y'all excited about? What's come out since I recorded this video likely a few weeks ago? Like, tell me down in the comments. Let's have a discussion. Who do you want to use in Jump to Lightspeed? What older leaders do you think are going to get a much needed kick in the butt and become way more interesting? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So I think that wraps it up for me now. So until the next time, let's do this again.